Hey guys, today I want to show you this car. It is a 1996 Toyota Corolla. It is very much the basic Toyota Corolla you can possibly get, no frills to it, but it is a 5-speed. Let's go check it out. It has some nicks in the front hood from being hit, and it's starting to get a little rust, but with a little white paint, you can probably cover up pretty much all of this. I really like these Corollas. They are very, very reliable. And you still see this style of body out on the street. There's still a lot of good rubber on all the tires, so it'll definitely pass inspection. It has a little bit of rust here in the bottom, but here on the East Coast, that's a pretty normal thing to have, especially in a car from 1996. You can see there's a little bit of rust. It's not bad. I'll show you on my other car here. You'll see that it's even worse. But these cars from the 90s are just very rust prone. Mirrors, the way to adjust them is actually on the outside. On the Paseo, you adjust them from the inside, which is a pretty big benefit. This is inside the passenger compartment. You can see, like, this is why I really like cloth seats. They just hold up so much better than leather. I've had cars from the 90s that had leather, and the leather is just like all torn up, especially in the driver's seat. This is the driver seat. You can see it's in really, really good shape. Nothing that's automatic. Everything is manual on this car. You can see you can't adjust the mirrors from the inside. Even the locks are manual. There are quite a few people that don't mind cars to be this basic and manual. I, for one, prefer cars to be this basic and manual because that means that very little things will go wrong with it. See this, it's so basic, it doesn't even have a tachometer. It has a temperature gauge, your speedo and odometer and trip meter, one trip meter, and then you have your fuel gauge, which is really down low. Then you have your reset button. But it can't possibly be this basic. It's incredible that it doesn't even have a tachometer. I was surprised when I got this car. It also has a dimmer for your like speedo cluster to adjust the lights in the back. So one of the good things is that it's got an airbag on the drivers and a airbag on the passenger. This is your windshield wiper. It doesn't have an intermediate, which is really one of the things that kind of annoys me because I use the intermediate on cars most of the time, but I bet you can just replace it easy. But it's just something that how Toyota skipped on putting like things that were really nice on this car. See the radio? It's actually very functional. And I like that it's up here. It's very easy to adjust. There is no cassette or CD player. That's incredible, right? Even my 95 Paseo right there has a cassette player, AC. The AC does not work, but the heating does work. You have 2 cup holders, which is fairly nice here. Here is your transmission. It's a 5-speed manual. This actually increases the price of the car, I think. For me, I love 5-speed transmissions. They're just so much more fuel efficient, and I like being able to be a little bit more interactive with the car. And when you have a car so basic and so cheap than this, that's not practically very fun to drive, it is nice having something to kind of keep you engaged in driving. The other airbag and your glove box. It also has the manual that came with the car. Pretty good sized trunk. It's missing a few clips here, but I'm sure I can fix those up. The sort of car that commuters probably would really enjoy, I think. Let's open this up. The great motor of the Toyota Corolla, extremely reliable. My dog loves cars. She'll go in any car. Look at that. Sophie, do you like this car? What do you think of this car? Is it nice? All right, why don't you sit down? Sit. Good girl. You know, one of the good things about this car is that it's got an OBD2 connector, because if it was a 95, it would not have the OBD2, it would have the OBD1. As you can see, like the radio works really well. Let's turn it off. Let's start the car. You have to push in the clutch, of course. I'm just gonna put the brake, put it in neutral, and then start. And it starts right up. The car is pretty cold, and as you can see, it's working pretty well. Pretty quiet engine when you think about it. No engine codes, nothing. Transmission is just like really incredible. I really like these 5-speed transmissions. It is a very drifty car. I looked up how much it gets miles to the gallon, and it gets about 40 miles to the gallon. It's incredible, especially if you get to 5-speed. You can do what's called hypermiling. In hypermiling, you can get even more. Man, this car just drives so smooth. And I'm in 5th gear right now. And the seat is very comfortable. Like I said before, these seats are in extremely good condition. And it is a comfortable car. You have a pretty good commanding view of the road. It's a small car, but it's much better than my Paseo as far as ride quality. This is all about getting from point A to B. Like a Toyota Corolla, you can just get parts everywhere. This engine is just so good. Easy car to live with. I think if you have a need for very basic transportation, like many people do, and a car's not really a status symbol, and you want something super reliable, this is what you get a Toyota Corolla for. Like a Corolla is bland, it's boring, but some people really take pride in having a very reliable car. And this one has been in one family for its entire life. So that's kind of like a gem. And it's only got 147,000 miles. And it's had a new clutch and all that. So this thing is gonna keep ticking for probably to 300,000 miles without many problems. You just can't beat these Toyotas.
Hey, I'm Anthony, the Vehicle Hunter. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page and please like us on Facebook. Vehicle Hunter.